Welcome to Breaking the Cycle of Poverty, featuring Jay Height, Executive Director of Shepherd Community Center in Indianapolis. My name is Tim Swearens, and I'm your host for these conversations that explore why poverty remains such a persistent problem in the United States. On this episode, Jay Height and Director of Housing Dennis Westlake discuss how Shepherd is working with partners in the community to address the urgent need for affordable housing in Indianapolis. Jay, will you introduce Dennis to our listeners?
Yeah, Dennis has been with us a little over a year.
A little less than a year.
A little less than a year. It seems like 10 years. Right? No, we appreciate Dennis, and I use this term many times. I need someone who wakes up in the morning and that's all they're thinking about, whatever that is. Yeah. And for us, Dennis wakes up thinking of, well, I hope he wakes up thinking about housing, and has helped us just move in some really exciting ways for us to better meet the needs of our neighbors.
Dennis, you've been in some recent conversations with a potential partner about building affordable housing on the East Side. What can you tell us about that initiative?
We have several things that are going, and I think the one you're referring to, we're not giving out a lot of details yet about who we're working with, but we are excited about the potential. It is moving forward. We've had a lot of different discussions. We're working out details, and it is a local home builder who is going to be willing to come along and help us build up to probably 10 units, single-family homes and one duplex. And we've been working out details of putting two single-family homes together to make a duplex, and that will be one of the projects that we hope will be on the front burner once we get all the details worked out. We also have a partner who is stepping forward to help us with the funding, in willingness to invest in these projects, and to the tune of about $1 million. And that'll be the basis on which we're able to build them, and then hold that debt for approximately 4 years while we work people toward being able to purchase those homes.
What's the time frame for the project? Houses under construction next year, maybe?
I'm hoping my hope is probably in the next couple months to possibly get started on construction, and I'm looking possibly to have 5 of them done by spring of next year.
Yeah, great.
If that happens.
Yeah. And I think the thing to understand is affordable housing. Everyone will say, well, there's not enough affordable housing. And the reason for that is because we need home builders building other homes so that folks may start in a starter home, which is affordable, and then they can move up. And there's not enough places for folks to move up. And so this is really a both and. We need home builders out there building more homes, and we need these, what I would have called a starter home, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath with a garage that possibly could turn into a standalone studio apartment, which then could provide extra income for that family. We believe that they'll be able to purchase these homes for $125. And which you're not going to find anywhere.
Right.
A new home build, and we are thankful for their willingness to work with us, and for the city to work with us as we are trying to be creative and looking at property that we've secured in the neighborhood and continue to secure. Intend Indiana has been a partner in helping us get some of those locations, empty lots that we can come in and put in a new home where a family can, as soon as they start, they'll rent it until they can get a traditional mortgage. What's so important about that is that immediately then they have equity. And part of poverty is having nothing to have equity in. I spend lots of money in my rent, but I never build up anything that I can pass on to my family. And this is really that unique opportunity. They would be limited for how long they have to own it before they would be able to sell it. But man, we're helping families not just get great housing, and we're helping a neighborhood, but we're helping them build equity.
Jay, why is a ministry moving into building homes now? What's driving this?
There's not enough. And literally right before I walked in today to sit down and record this with you all, I was talking to a man and a woman who are sleeping outside. It's October, and they have no options. She's pregnant. The shelters are full. And so if you think of the shelters as the last of the safety net, they're at capacity. And so somebody will ask me, why do I see so many people sleeping outside? There's nowhere to go. And so we have to intervene along the way and help folks. And there's lots of reasons that cause this crisis, but it really starts is we're not building enough homes.
Some of our listeners may be asking, what's wrong with the free enterprise system? Why isn't it addressing this problem?
Well, like Jay said, there are a number of factors, I think, why we're not seeing enough homes built, but it goes back even to 2008 after the other housing crisis, and then following it, there weren't enough developers getting into it. And then on the heels of that, we also had the pandemic, which changed everything dramatically related to costs. So following that, then we have increased costs in both materials and labor. And then on top of that, we now have interest rates that have gone up. So it's just, I think, a snowball effect. And you can't say that any housing crisis, if we recognize it today, was something that started yesterday. Right. It obviously has been time over time that has built up, and there's just been more increase in the demand than there is supply that has been built to take care of that. So it is now at a point where everybody recognizes it to be a crisis, and it's not just in Indianapolis, it's across the United States.
Yes. I think what we need is more of that free enterprise, the free market that will help that. I fear that maybe government, because of the mistakes made in 08 and 09, have overreached that has really stymied that growth. And so we're looking at Indianapolis. I forget how many thousands of homes we need. Well, we're not going to build that in a year.
140,000. Well, that's just low income.
Yeah, 140,000.
We're short.
We're just not going to get there probably in our lifetime, but we've got to start the process, and that's what we're trying to do, and trying to work with families that we already have relationships with. We're not going to put for rent or for sale signs up. These are families that we're already working with that have kids or are involved in some of our other programs, and this allows us to deepen the relationship. And I think it's a unique opportunity, and we want to do what we can to help move the needle. It's going to take a lot of folks. It's going to take, maybe there's some other home builders out there that would say, you know what, I think I could build 2 or 3. We would love that. We can secure the lots. We keep them very contiguous to Shepherd so that it has the maximum impact into the community around us off of our own campus here on East Washington.
What are some of the longer-term solutions that are needed to 140,000 homes? That's a lot. Shepherd can only do its part. What are the longer-term solutions?
Well, I think Jay mentioned one of the things that not only has government stepped in ways that we question whether that's going to effectively address it, but even just locally, the kinds of things you run into to just complete the process is often keeps developers from even getting into the game. And I think it's we've seen a little bit of that. Just we've spent months just getting through a rezoning process. Permitting. This builder that is partnering with us said that even after we get to the point of submitting a permit, it will be 6 weeks before it even starts to move, before anyone even looks at it. Well, those kinds of things keep you from even trying because it's just so complicated.
And they also drive up costs.
Yes, and they drive up costs. So I think there's really needs to be an effort, a sustained effort, to address some of those issues that are making it so slow and cumbersome for developers to do their work.
And we need homes for market rate homes. We need the kind that our neighbors, affordable housing, all in the whole spectrum we need more of, and it's going to take creativity. We hear about some of the high rises downtown that are transitioning some of their office space to apartments. What they found is that's very expensive because buildings were built for a different purpose, but it's going to take that kind of creativity for us to look at every possibility. I was just reading about an initiative here where church has gotten permission from the city to allow people in their cars to sleep in their parking lot. And I appreciate that creativity, but we need to be opening our church doors and saying, hey, you need to come in. I don't want to sleep in my car. I don't want anyone else to. But we need to be creative and figure out how do we help the shelters. And we have a lot of great shelters in this city, and obviously they need more resources so that we can grow that capacity too.
What can our listeners do to help? Are there partnership and volunteer opportunities related to housing?
Well, I think they could call Dennis and say, hey, here's what I know. Here's my expertise. Maybe they have a skilled trade. Not only are we working to build these, but we're also renovating some other ones and purchasing some homes that are going to need some fresh up and some cleanup that potentially skilled folks could come in and help us. That helps us keep the costs down. Maybe someone says, hey, I've got a bunch of new flooring or carpet or cabinets and all of those types of things. If we can't use them, we will get them to our partners. We have a great partnership with Habitat. They do an amazing job, and we can share with them resources, and then they in turn will give us credit to the store. And we appreciate that partnership. So people could donate stuff. As far as your used shag rug, Tim, as much as we appreciate it, we don't need it. It brings back bad memories to the 80s for me. You know, I remember shag. I had red shag carpet in my bedroom, and so I need counseling, I think, just because of that. But we need good stuff that we can use, and then volunteer groups that want to help us be able to go in and get those homes in order, and even maybe the donation of items that we can put into those homes.
I think some of our younger listeners are Googling shag carpet now to figure out what in the world is he talking about. Anything you want to add, Dennis?
Yeah, I would just say I think a sustained sense of social responsibility will be a long-term solution when all of these initiatives that Jay's been enumerating, I think, are very important, but they also need to be sustained over the long haul because it's not going to be a quick fix to the housing crisis. It'll take time.
Yes.
But I firmly believe that when we join our hearts with God's heart, He's able to make it happen, and we look forward to Him doing that through us and through many others who join us.
He makes a way when it doesn't seem to be a way. When we say 140,000 houses, that's a lot, but we serve a big God.
That's right.
Yeah. Thank you, Dennis and Jay. For 39 years, Shepherd Community has made a lasting difference in the lives of thousands and thousands of neighbors. The Shepherd team couldn't do that work without the support of donors, partners, and volunteers. To learn more about how you can help, please visit shepherdcommunity.org. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.